started before I start talking. I know, a lifetime ago, says Grace. Party. I was looking for my music and I, I couldn't find it at the last minute, so I thought, okay, well, I'm not going to sing, that's for sure. We'll just give everybody one more minute to kind of check in. I am Phoenix Rising Star in case you haven't met me before. And I'm going to put a Facebook group on the chat there. So if you want to be a part of this so that you're getting ongoing information about the next Hathor activation meditation and just part of the sharing and all of that, please click on that and you can ask to join and then I'll just get you in the group because it's a private closed group, but it's open to anybody who wants to be in it basically. And Lisa, you're saying no goat babies? Oh no. Lisa has goats and we were sure that they were going to be born this weekend and oh, this poor mother. So sorry. Come on, Liberty. We've got this. Poor thing. Oh my gosh.
Right? All in divine timing.
Tell her that.
Women would think we're going to labor, but no. Oh my goodness.
Well, we'll certainly send her some healing energy and maybe that will help her. Okay, so you've got a Facebook group here that you can join if you've never been a part of this before and you'd like to. After it's all done and you say I'd like more of it, that's the place to join up so that you can get like part of the sharing and the most important information of when is our next meditation and what's the link to it and all that. And then I'm also putting in another link in here, joy to our world.space. And this is where, if you've been following this, you probably know that this is it's a monthly sharing on a high consciousness theme that has been suggested by the Hathors. So this month is Reverence to All Life Everywhere, which perfectly fits in with this month's theme too, planetary and interplanetary soul purpose, and expanding our work into those areas. And so there's 12 of us that have been posting different things on a monthly basis based on the suggested themes from the Hathors. So sometimes you'll see guided meditations, sometimes you'll see pictures or prose or poems or um, slideshows. There's just everybody's just freely expressing themselves to the ability that we're able to do that. So let's see, I got this thing coming up here. There we go. Okay, good. So feel free to join that. It's free. And we just would love to have you take part of that and just participate, by appreciating all the postings that are there, and comment and things like that. So those are the two things I really wanted you to know about for tonight. Also, I will be posting there all of the Hathor activation meditations have been recorded and they're all on YouTube. So I'll be posting the links for that. And if I have you on the email list, I'll send it through that. And if I don't have you, I'll send it through the Facebook page. So that's another reason to join that Facebook page. But this is our fifth one so far. And just a brief explanation of what we're doing here. So, and who are the Hathors? So the Hathors are fifth to 12th dimensional beings. And so they don't need a body, and they've really transcended the duality that we have here in our planet. They live in whatever nebulous area that they're living in, but they're highly involved as teachers and as caregivers for their youth to help their youth to reach their highest potential. And they are very vested in helping us to do that as well, to reach not only our highest potential, but our highest destiny, whatever that might be. They're also very heavily involved in the new earth that is being created and really already has been created and is just waiting for beings to migrate over there. And the concepts behind the new earth are not that we just create a parallel planet and then go over and trash that, but rather it's a higher level of consciousness for the beings that are all there. And so my understanding is that as we move over there, consciously or unconsciously, it's because we're connected deeply to our higher self and driven by our higher self that we embody unconditional love for all life everywhere. And we live that. And so as a result, animals have a freer life over there on the new planet because nobody will be eating them. It's all plant-based, and the plants are totally okay with that because they understand that that's the path of healing. So some people are already, some souls may be migrating over already. Some may just be finding out about it. And others may be the way showers to help people understand that that's an option for where we go when we've outgrown this planet, this dual planet. So the Hathors are highly invested in that new earth and making sure that it's all beings that go there are honoring those guidelines for living there, but that really the way for us to get there is to transcend the dual nature of this planet. And what I mean by the dual nature of this planet is, this is one of the few places in our universe, according to the Hathors and angels that I work with, that it has both the dual nature of everything. So we have good and bad, and right and left, and male, female. So we have polar opposites. And so if you're talking about like good and bad or good and evil, the idea is to really transcend that fear or worry or concern around something that doesn't feel good, like evil or bad, and to understand that everything is here to teach us something. And as such, if it's here to teach us something, it's not to be feared, it's not to be worried about, it's not to have a charge on it. It's about understanding that everything, we can learn from everything. And when we step into that place, then we are operating from a higher standpoint, a higher place of being, a higher consciousness level. And when we don't have a charge on either the positive or the negative, either through denial or through fear or whatever it might be, then we can better move beyond whatever is holding us in place and transcend that duality and step into a place of unconditional love. That is really what we're all about. Now, let me back up a little bit because tonight's theme is about your planetary and your interplanetary purpose. So, according to the Hathors and according to the angels that I work with, all of us plan out our life before we even get here into the body. And most of you are probably really familiar with that concept. We work with high level souls. Some call it your soul council. Some will call it, your guides, your angels, whoever it might be, that help you to design the perfect life for you to learn what you wanted to learn from this dual planet, right? Now, as souls, we're highly courageous. So sometimes we're designing really hard things to experience because we don't think we're going to learn it any other way. Or maybe there's so many other benefits that we would be learning in addition to what we're choosing to learn. So we're highly courageous and we may choose a lot of fear and pain and sorrow and things like that. But it's always for the purpose of elevating our consciousness, learning from it, and moving on to a higher place with that. Now, not to diminish that in any way, shape, or form, but there's also a bigger picture behind why we are here in the body. And it's not just our lessons that we're choosing to embody, but it's a bigger purpose for like all of humanity to impact the world with in as many ways as possible, or maybe it's only one way, but to as many people as possible. And that impact on the world comes from whatever gifts we have that we're bringing with us as a soul. And we bring in lots of gifts, We don't have just one thing that we do well. All of us have a lot of things we do well because as a soul, we're highly creative. And we want that chance to be able to try a whole bunch of things out and be playful with it. Then we get into the body and we go, oh my God, this planet is so rough. This is so hard. I don't know if I can do any of this. And what if nobody wants what I have to offer? And we go on from there with learned and past learned experiences all piling on top of each other. But if we can get beyond our fears or our worries or our concerns about, what we have to share with the world, then we can find that there's usually a very deep place within us that really would love to make a difference in the world in a bigger way than what we're even doing on a daily basis or a yearly basis or in our mental thought processes of why we're here. So, for example, I'm talking big, big picture here. So, I get a lot of information in my dreams, and I also get a lot of information in my meditations, and I've learned to trust both of them because I've had experiences that follow that up that make them real and make them believable and trustworthy. So I have started to have a series of dreams lately. And at first, I wasn't even clear what it was. I was just seeing a list. And the first thing I was seeing was a list of ages, and it went from like 17 down to 11. And then I was seeing names, like first names only, and I couldn't remember any of them after I woke up. And then I was seeing a date, and I didn't have any idea what the date was. So I just sat with that in meditation because that was the immediate impression that I had in my dreams. And I knew that, if I'm remembering it, then there's a reason for it and there's something really important here. So I kept having this dream over and over again. And finally, more details were emerging. And when I woke up one morning, I heard sex trafficking. So I understood that what I was looking at was a list of young women, because the names were all feminine, between the ages of 11 and 17 who had been missing on those particular dates. Now, it's not that I'm to go after them, and find them. That's not the bigger picture yet. I don't think that's what it is. I don't have all the details. I'm just getting the baby steps, one step at a time, in terms of how am I to do something about sex trafficking for young women. I don't know what I can do, but I know that if I'm being called, there is something within me that makes it possible that I might have an impact. It may only be energetic. I may just be sending love, holding love, but it may go beyond that. I do a lot of trauma release. Maybe I'm going to be working with people that have been found and help them release the trauma that they experienced. I don't really know where this is going. And that's kind of how it works. You start getting this, it's like the curtains open, and you start getting a little bit of information. And, you just kind of sit with it until the next piece drops in, and then the next piece drops in. And then it goes from there. And pretty soon you start following the breadcrumbs, if you will, to a place where you say, okay, I get it now. I see what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm not there yet. And I'm sharing this with you because I really believe that this is part of my bigger picture of why I'm here on this planet. I mean, I do a lot of things for a lot of people, but that has not been one of them yet. But it might be part of my bigger planetary purpose to step into a bigger picture using my gifts in a bigger way. So when you are working with the Hathors tonight, it's likely, if you are not aware of your bigger planetary purpose, it's likely you'll start getting some glimmers where the curtains start to open. You might get some breadcrumbs. You might get some awarenesses. You might not remember anything at all tonight. All those things are possible. Because when they are coming in to help us reach our highest destiny, they are working with heart language. And heart language doesn't have a language that our brain understands. Heart language is more of that feeling, that knowing, that sensing without words. So it takes a while for the words to kind of percolate into our conscious awareness. So you may have a dream like I did in which it starts to come through, or maybe tomorrow's meditation for you, it starts to come through, or maybe 48 hours from now, you're reading something that just triggers you, and you just know beyond the shadow of a doubt that that's what you're connected with, even if you don't have all the details. So I'm sharing this with you so you are just like open and ready to receive in whatever way is right for you, whatever breadcrumbs you are ready for on your planetary purpose. And I hope that makes sense. And if not, please feel free to put a question in the chat and I'll make sure I take a look at that in a minute. Now, remember that our theme tonight is planetary and interplanetary purpose, right? Which implies we're going beyond our Earth. Because, and I'm sure that I'm talking to all the right people when I say there's more life out there than just those on this planet, right? Than just those with a body, right? Because if we're working with fifth to 12th dimensional beings who don't have a body, I mean, we're only working with one small population, and there's a whole lot of populations out there, right? But I really love working with the Hathors because they're very high consciousness, high level of intelligence, very compassionate, but they're also very matter of fact. I mean, they bring it to you like it is, and you get it, and then it's up to you to act on it. So when we're talking about interplanetary, what do I mean by that? Let me give you another example that's a personal example, and it may help you to open up to your possibilities as well. Some of you probably know that I just published my third book called The Hollow Bone of Healing. And in that, I share a technique called the merge technique. The merge technique is when we invite in a very high consciousness being to merge our frequency entirely together. Sometimes we're working with angels, sometimes it's archangels, but it could be the spirit of love, the spirit of light, the spirit of compassion. I have not yet been given permission by the Hathors to merge with them, just as an FYI. You might ask and see if after you understand how that technique works, you could ask and see if you can merge. But I have not been given that permission yet, and I totally respect that. But I was merging with the Divine Mother, who is the mother of all things on this planet. That is a really high, respectful merge, let me tell you. And it's just all love. It is all love. And one day she said to me, you know, there's other mothers too. And I'm like, it never occurred to me. I mean, obviously I knew other mothers on this planet, but I didn't think that's what she meant. And she didn't. She said, I want to introduce you to the cosmic mother, who is the mother of our particular universe. So I merged with both of them and we were having a conversation because I'm very auditory, so I hear things. And the cosmic mother said to me, are you aware of the star pollution? And all I could think of was like the pollution from our, like in our atmosphere, in our air. And I said, you mean like that? And she said, no, no. So the cosmic mother said, no, I'm talking about the pollution of negativity, of violence, of fear, of all those lower level concepts on your planet. It's getting to be so great that it's leaching through the gravitational field around your planet, and it's starting to affect the stars that are closest to your planet. It had never occurred to me. I don't know if it would occur to anybody, but it hadn't occurred to me. And so I said, oh my goodness, so what are you suggesting? And she said, I think you should get together with a select group of people and do a monthly meditation to help clear fear and clear negativity and clear that inner and outer pollution on the planet through your energetic meditation, so that the pollution is not moving through the gravitational field and affecting the stars. So in effect, it's a star healing meditation. And so that's what we do. There's a group of us that the Cosmic Mother kind of pointed out and said, you know, these are the people that you might consider. And so it's on a volunteer basis, but almost everybody shows up once a month for our star healing. And in that way, we are making a difference beyond our planet. And we've had separate confirmations in different ways from different beings that have indicated to us that we are making a difference with that. You know, it doesn't have to be that you have to show up and be in a certain place physically. because we're energetic beings. So maybe the way that you can make a difference in an interplanetary way is through meditation or through energy work or through your intentions, right? But again, when we open ourselves up to the Hathors tonight, for them to help us reach our highest potential on a planetary and interplanetary way, we may get those breadcrumbs. We may get that confirmation of something you've always suspected about yourself. You may get blindsided, like I kind of felt like I was blindsided and I didn't see either one of those coming. But it felt totally right that I might be able to do something about it. You may get more breadcrumbs than what I was getting. And again, you may not get anything at all until 24 hours, 48 hours from now, because sometimes that heart language just needs to percolate for a while until it can come into words that make sense to you, whether it's through your dreams or in your meditations or your just waking thoughts and intentions. So that's what we're about tonight. I mean, this is really, really big, but you wouldn't be here unless it was resonating with you, you know? There was some kind of heart call that brought you here tonight. And so congratulations for listening to that heart call, for showing up, whether you're on live or listening to the recording, because the transmission is just as powerful on the recording as it is live. But I do love live groups. There's something really special about seeing people's faces and feeling their energy, and but it's all good on the recording too. I've had confirmation of that. Speaking of confirmations, I just want to thank all of those of you that send me wonderful emails telling me how your life is changing as a result of these meditations. I mean, to tell you, it's been really gratifying and exciting to learn that some of you are quitting your jobs, some of you are starting new jobs, some of you are getting rid of, like, I don't want to work for anybody anymore, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. Others of you are changing your diet, some of you are changing your exercise. Some of you are stepping into a role of teaching where maybe you never had that before. I mean, there are so many changes going on. And the empowerment behind that, it's like you recognize an inner drive within you that just cannot be denied. And that's what tonight is about, except it's taking you farther into who you are and why you're here, into a deeper place with that, so that your gifts can affect far more people on this planet and all life everywhere beyond this planet. Whew, this is big. So thank you for being a part of this, and the Hathors are thanking you. So normally I give you a little background and then I lead you into the meditation. So here's what we're going to do in the meditation, just so you're clear about the steps that we're going to take. We begin every meditation from a place of love and just allowing your heart to be filled with unconditional love to the best of your ability. Now, if you've never had that experience of unconditional love, even with an animal, then you might have to be a little creative. But I have some suggestions that I think might help you to get into a place where your heart is opening to this opportunity. So in nature, or maybe it was an epiphany with source energy, or, that usually animals can help us to open up our hearts in that way. But we begin from that place because when we begin everything with love, then it's a great creation. And the Hathors really respond to that love. In fact, all high consciousness responds to unconditional love. And when they come in bringing all this unconditional love with them too, so that you've got this wave of love going back and forth between you that feels really, really good. So we begin with a wave of love, and they're probably already doing some things right now, because just talking about them, they kind of get started ahead of time. So if you're feeling excessively sleepy, or if you're feeling very jumpy and like, ooh, all nervous and excited, that can also be a result of the Hathors. You may have a sense of hands maybe touching you, or in a loving, kind way and never disrespectful. Um, you know, Offering healing. And usually it's in high consciousness waves of energy that come into your heart, that's how they communicate. But some people will see beings of light or in different colors or in with sacred geometry. Others of you are auditory like I am, and you might have conversations. Some of you have these knowings within you without knowing how you know. So just be really open with all of your senses. And during this time, I'm usually really quiet unless I'm guided to kind of say something that might help you further on your journey of receiving information or receiving vibrations or receiving energy or whatever it is that is for your highest good and healing tonight. So that's kind of how it is. We start from a place in love, we bring in the Hathors, we connect with love, and then they just kind of do whatever they need to do to help us reach our highest destiny for the planet and beyond for tonight. And then at the end, we'll just kind of we'll end in a quiet silence, but I'll hit this beautiful Zen bowl 3 times to let you know that the meditation is complete. And then this will be posted both on the Facebook page that's posted on here and also on, I'll put it in your email if you're on the email list. And if you don't worry, if you're not on the email list, we'll find each other. In fact, let me put in my email list, my email right here, so you can make sure you get added to it. Or if you want to share afterwards, or if you have questions and you don't know what to do with what you received, please reach out to me because that's why I'm here. I'm here to help. This is part of how I serve, and it's a joy. It is an absolute joy to be here, and it's a joy to have all of you here as well. And you're very welcome, Grace. She says, thank you for leading us. Okay, so if you have any questions, you can either unmute yourself or you can put something in the chat because your question may be everybody else's question. They're just too afraid to ask. So don't hold back. Go ahead and just, put it out there if you have a question. But this is a big, big opportunity for all of us and for the planet and beyond. And I'm thrilled to be a part of it. So I just want to give you a chance to type in anything or unmute yourself if you need to. Oh, this is so great to see so many wonderful names and faces and everything. Okay. All right. I'm going to assume you don't have any questions. And I usually turn off my video because as you have seen, I talk with my hands and there's no sense in distracting you from your meditation. I encourage everybody to turn off their video so that nobody's distracted and also that you close your eyes and find a comfortable place to sit. You could even lie down, and if you fall asleep, it's really okay because when you're asleep, you're actually taking things in a deeper way. And you can always listen to the recording if you want to be more consciously aware of things, but chances are whatever you're taking in will come to the surface for you even if you're sleeping. So don't worry about that. Okay, I'm going to stop my video. Oops, sorry about the noise. Hang on just 1 second. Okay, here we are. I'm back. Okay, so find that comfortable place where you can sit or lie down. And I can really feel that everybody's getting just charged with energy. And it's so exciting. Just allow your breathing to become slow and rhythmic in a rate that works for you. As you inhale peace and relaxation, and exhale any stress or tension from the day. And you just continue breathing in that fashion. And it feels kind of forced at first, but you will relax into a breathing that works better for you. This is just signaling your body and your mind for change and transformation. maybe even healing, or maybe just awareness, knowledge, understanding that goes beyond where you are now. And we welcome everything that helps us to reach our highest destiny. Good. When you're ready, if you'll just turn your awareness to your energetic heart space. Now, this energetic heart space is a literal space, but it's behind your literal heart. Just interesting. So, everybody has one, and everybody knows where it is. So, just put your awareness there. And to the best of your ability, just begin generating feelings of unconditional love. Now, sometimes you've been lucky enough to really have a relationship with a person in which you felt that. And maybe it wasn't even someone related to you. Maybe it was just someone that, knew you or knew your family, and it was just really special. Or maybe you had a really special animal in your life, or more than one, who would just turn up the volume on unconditional love every time they were in your presence. Maybe you've had an epiphany, with source energy, and it was just so powerful. It changed you completely. Or maybe you've been in a beautiful place in nature where you felt completely at one with all that was there, the plants, the animals, the air, the water, the land. And sometimes we just resort to sheer intention, and you might even repeat the words to yourself, unconditional love, and just say them over and over again, because intention is certainly enough to get us where we need to be. So, whatever works for you, just allow this unconditional love to begin building and building in your heart space. And the thing about unconditional love is it can't be contained. And there's always so much more than we realize that's coming in. So as you begin to generate these feelings, it just starts getting more and more and more in your heart to the point of overflowing and moving all the way through your physical body. And it's just like pouring water into a glass. It begins filling you up from the bottoms of your feet all the way up to the top of your head. But because it's unconditional love, it has an intelligence of its own, and it's going exactly where you need it the most. Because unconditional love is what heals all things. So just hide no space from this love. When it gets up to the top of your head, it just spills over into your energetic body. So we have really a physical energetic body that's just outside of our physical form. And it holds the memory of all of our physical experiences. And so that is also filling up with unconditional love from the bottoms of your feet all the way up to the top of your head and spilling over into your emotional layer. And as it's filling up your emotional layer, it's helping to heal all woundedness, all pain, all sorrow, all sadness as it's filling you up all the way to the top and spilling over to your mental layer. And as this is filling up, it's helping to heal all mental belief systems of lack and limitation, or things that don't serve you, things that aren't even you, things that are other people's opinions or ideas that don't match you. It's just healing all of that and changing them into something that's more appropriate for you. As it spills over one last time into your spiritual layer, which is where we hold all of our goals and aspirations for not just this lifetime, but all lifetimes. And there's always a theme. There's always a theme. So none of this will surprise you. But if there's any aspect from another lifetime or this one that needs to be healed regarding your soul purpose or who you are or why you're here, that is also receiving the benefit of unconditional love. And now you are completely enclosed in a sphere of unconditional love. And just feel how good that feels. It's like being wrapped in cotton wool. That is just so comforting, all surrounding, so special. And you're probably sensing that there's a wave of unconditional love coming at you at this time. And when you follow that wave, you'll find that it's connected to the Hathors who are working with you tonight. Now, some people will have like only one, but usually they come in pairs, a young one and an older one, or they may come in a group. It won't be a large group, it'll just be a comfortable group. But just feel that love that's emanating from their hearts to yours. And just take that in and make it yours. And then when you're ready, send love back to them, showing your appreciation. And know that that love is being received and amplified. So that this time when it comes back to you, you're really feeling it in terms of the power of it. It's just immense and amazing. And you allow it to move through you wherever you need it the most. And when you're ready, you send it right back one last time, where they're taking it in and they're amplifying it. And one last time, just sending it right back to you. It's kind of a signal that you're both ready to connect together and to work together for your highest good and healing and for your highest destiny. So I'm going to be really quiet for a while to allow you to have your rich experience as you open up all of your senses, your inner eyesight, your inner hearing, your inner knowing, and all the other senses to receive whatever is being shared with you. Just allow yourself to receive whatever it is that you need tonight. Staying in that space with the Hathors and just allowing yourself to receive. And taking about 1 to 2 more minutes to complete your experience. And at some point, you will feel that the energy is no longer as strong as it was, or maybe you're not receiving as much as you were. And that's when you know that it's almost complete for now. When that happens, the Hathors will gently move away from your energy. And I invite you to just sit in this space to allow yourself to integrate what you have received. Thank you and namaste.